Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Storm Track meteorologist Nate Harrington with Jamie Ostroff.
Hey everyone, we are here getting ready for Hurricane Matthew to hit in Tybee Island, Georgia. But of course, this is one of a lot of places up and down the East Coast bracing for the storm right now. There are a lot of questions about the track.
Yeah, the track, the official National Hurricane Center track has just come out, and it's actually a little bit farther north and west than the track that came out earlier this morning. So now, basically, folks all along the eastern coast of Florida and even here are going to have to watch out. Hurricane conditions are possible. There is actually a hurricane watch in effect for right where we're standing right now, and that goes until Matthew decides to go on out to sea. And that's another thing that's pretty interesting about this storm. Yesterday, we were tracking this as it kind of went up the East Coast with the Carolinas and the Mid-Atlantic states being impacted by this. But Matthew, over the last 24 hours, has decided that he's going to make a hard turn. It's almost a U-turn on Sunday, and that's due to a couple of different factors. One, that big ridge of high pressure that kind of drives these tropical storms this time of year is going to weaken. And we also have a trough of low pressure that's going to steer Matthew basically south and east, which you don't normally see, but it has happened before. So it's almost going to make kind of a loop. That is a possible scenario. But what we're really concerned about is here on Friday. I think Friday, late morning, early afternoon, we're going to start to feel the wind pick up. A little bit harder than it is now. Wind picks up, rain starts, and then I think Friday night into early Saturday morning here will be the worst of it.
Yes, but people are already getting ready here now in Tybee Island, or at least emergency managers want people to be getting ready here in Tybee Island. They issued an emergency mandatory evacuation. It's in effect right now for Tybee Island. That's where I'm standing, and this is the only road out of town, and either everybody's already taken it, but it's really not been that crowded. We've been driving past gas stations on the way into town and into Tybee Island, and they have not been crowded. We actually caught up with a gentleman who was leaving Savannah, headed west to stay with family in Columbus, Georgia. He was gassing up his car, and he said a lot of people are not taking this seriously, and they should be taking this seriously. It's something we talked about the last time you and I covered a hurricane with Hermine, is that we don't really get landfall that often. It's been a really long time, and people get a little bit complacent and they don't take it seriously. But again, Tybee Island, everybody is being told to get out right now, and there are a ton of communities between here and Interstate 95. Those communities are under voluntary evacuations right now, but of course we still don't know exactly where the most affected areas are going to be.
Yeah, and that's important to know. It's not going to matter where this thing makes landfall. If the track is accurate, and we're getting into the 48-hour window where the real impacts are going to start, once we nail down the track, it's not going to really matter where it makes landfall or where exactly it goes, because Matthew has shown the propensity to be a really big storm. And right now it looks a little ragged. If you look at satellite pictures and radar images, it looks a little ragged, but it's going to be going over some pretty favorable waters in the Bahamas for regeneration. And if history tells us anything, Matthew has a chance to regenerate into a pretty big storm. And the tropical storm force winds extend about 185 miles out from the center of it. So it could be well offshore, but we're still going to feel 50, 60, 70 mile per hour winds possibly. And if it makes an even closer pass to us, 45 miles is how far the hurricane force winds extend. So there's a chance we could see winds in excess of 75 to 80 miles an hour around here.
And that's no joke. That can topple power lines, that can topple trees. And already people in the Birmingham area are getting ready for that. I mentioned that on the 5 o'clock news in case you missed it. The Red Cross in the Birmingham area is already sending a dozen volunteers to the coast, 10 to Florida, 2 here to Georgia. Of course, that could be more. Fortunately, they said they don't need any supplies right now, but definitely worth keeping our ears open, considering what may or may not happen with this storm. Alabama Power is also on standby. They said they don't really know how many people they're going to send or where they're going to send them, but they are keeping an eye out. They say it's more than likely they will be sending crews out somewhere on the coast, just depending on who gets hit the hardest to help out restoring power. People are already being asked if you do plan on riding this storm out, which is not advisable according to pretty much any emergency manager you ask here. They're saying if you do plan on riding it out, have at least 3 days worth of food and drinking water and supplies, because your lights are likely going to go out.
Yeah, but for right now, got a beautiful sunset.
It is
There you
really
go.
nice.
Get that,
It's sun
Sebastian.
setting.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. So we'll be out here tonight. We'll be out here for the duration. It looks like Friday is going to be the worst of it. So we'll be keeping in touch with you guys, and we'll see you later tonight.